Hello, welcome to my presentation on AI art, which is going to focus mainly on text image generation. So that's my complex problem that I'll be looking at today. There have been recent technological advances, and it's much more available to the public than it was previously. I know it came into my attention when I noticed a lot of people on Facebook posting pictures and stuff like that. So that's kind of where the discussion came about for me. I work as an art model, so I work closely with a lot of photographers and other visual artists who have voiced concerns about these new technological advancements and what it means. So we're going to be looking at that. Let me see. So there are a lot of apps. I can't even list all of them. I'm not aware of all of them. DALL-E 2 is one that came up often in my research, and I thought it was just cute that that's actually named for the Pixar movie WALL-E and the artist Salvador Dali. If you kind of put their names together, you get DALL-E 2. So a lot of these are available for free. I'm not going to really go into depth about the technology because I don't really understand all of that with the algorithm and stuff, but just what it means to us and everything. So it's not new. We've had artificial intelligence and its own is not new. We actually use that all the time with algorithms that we use in our daily lives. Streaming platforms. I know I listen to Spotify, and that's like, how did it know what music I like? AI. That's how. So yeah, it's really just grown a lot recently, AI image generation. So, what are the issues with that? Let's see. Yeah, obviously Midjourney, Canva, Bing Image Creator is one that I have friends who use. Okay, so you might wonder, what's the big deal? What's the problem? Why is this an issue? It's just a fun thing you can play around with. So yeah, that's kind of how I felt about it at first. Like, oh, there's no harm in this. But after doing this research, it's like, oh, okay, I do realize some things. So these are both pictures of me. One is made with AI and one is just a photograph. So I think it's pretty easy to tell the difference here, but as the technology improves, it's going to become harder to tell, and that could be an issue. Also, if someone produced this AI image of me or someone without my consent, how does that work? What can I do to make sure that's not happening if I'm not comfortable with it? So yeah, there are copyright, legal, and ethical issues associated with the programs and apps. Yeah, it's pretty easy to tell the difference right now, but it's going to be more of a problem in the future. So some articles that I want to reference. One is The Ethical Pros and Cons of AI Generation by Electra Nanu. And I'll just go ahead and read a quote from her. AI is changing the future of art in amazing ways, but the technology has several flaws to iron out, especially when it comes to ethical use. Copyright violation is the biggest problem alongside the ongoing debate on whether AI-generated images are really art at all. Obviously, there's a lot of issues with defining art, what is and isn't art, but it's kind of relevant to this. So, yeah. So, yeah, really what I have found is that artists are worried. They feel kind of threatened by this. They're worried that, they might work really hard. For example, I've traveled across the U.S. and gone on, an hour hike into the middle of nowhere to take pictures. That's a lot of work being done. And some of us are worried if somebody else can make something basically the same so easily, then are people not going to appreciate what we do as much anymore? Yeah, that's pretty much it. So another quote I have is from an article by Rob Torone, and that's called AI Generated Art, a Viable Tool or a Lawsuit Waiting to Happen, which gives you some idea of what this is about. So yeah, he says he's going to explain, I'll read you his quote, he explains it. Because they train their algorithms by scraping artwork from across the internet, including stock photos, websites, and personal art blogs, there are legitimate concerns that new images created by AI might lead to copyright challenges. So again, the copyright issue is coming up. So yeah, you can put in an artist's name or an artistic style, and these AI text generation or image generation through text apps will give you an image that is inspired by that. But often there's no credit given to the artist. Here's an image from James Gurney. He did an interview with Vox that I'll be referencing later on. And he's upset. He's worried about it. He's got a distinct style that he spent a long time working on, and somebody can just type in James Gurney, whatever, and that style is used. So that's one issue. Yeah, so here just explaining a little more of what I said, or just a simplification, really, of what I said. Yeah, copyright issues. We're worried about it. But we don't want to stop progress either. Like I said, maybe it's easier to make the images, but does that mean that they shouldn't? Like if something's easier, is that means we shouldn't do it? Not necessarily. So there are some pros also. Some people are very optimistic about that, which is great. Yeah, one example is photography versus painting. So when photography started coming about, late 1800s, people were worried that we would lose interest in painting. No one would ever paint again because it's so easy to take a picture of a person or something. But obviously that's not been the case. There's a lot that pictures can't do, photography can't do. They can produce a realistic image, obviously, but painting's not dead. We're all still interested in painting. It's still being practiced. So that's good news. Another quote I have here is again from Nanu. Whoops, sorry. She says, one of the most inspiring aspects of AI art generation is that software can learn from old images and breathe new life into classics. You can ask for Van Gogh or Picasso themed designs, and the generator will respond accordingly with varied results. So that's cool. I mean, that can help people get excited about art, and that's important. So it is a tool, you can make the comparison to like a gun. Like, is a gun bad in and of itself, or is it dangerous and can be used by the wrong people in the wrong ways? So again, back to the cons. Yeah, they have these issues with copyright and everything. One kind of funny thing that comes up often is the issue of AI not being able to produce hands very well, to render those well. And I've heard a couple of varying things about that. Maybe it's on purpose, not sure. This is another image that someone made of kind of my likeness, and we got some blurred fingers here. Here we have quite a few, too many fingers. So those are some issues in the technology still. So Shutterstock is one company that is leading the way with being more ethical. They've partnered with OpenAI, and they are compensating artists and giving credit to the people who produced the original artwork, which is great. Yeah, so hopefully other companies will follow in their footsteps. Okay, so back to this James Gurney. He gave us a quote. He says, I think it's only fair that people looking at this work, that they should know what the prompts were and also that what software was used. I also think that artists should be allowed to opt in or out of having their work that they worked so hard on by hand being used as a data set for creating these other artworks. So he's got a criticism there, but also a possible solution, which is great. He suggests that, say you post an image that you've made through AI, you can say I used this app. These are the prompts I used, including the artist's name. Like we said with Shutterstock, they're actually offering financial compensation, which is great. Seems like the way to go. But I hope this has informed you a bit on this topic. I enjoyed doing this research and I really learned a lot. So thank you.